Welcome to this week's episode of Monday Matters, where I offer additional insights based on my church's Sunday sermon. And then I invite you to experiment with some practical applications for the week. But first, I invite you to like, share, subscribe, and click the bell for notifications. All right. Well, this week's episode is from 1 Corinthians chapter 15. And the thought was a resurrection ministry. So the idea here is that Paul's ministry is based on the concept of a resurrection. So at this time, Paul is actually saying that there was, in fact, a physical resurrection of Jesus. Cephas saw him. The disciples saw him. 500 people saw him at one time. See, it was imperative for the people to believe that the resurrection actually happened because it was the whole basis of their ministry at that point. And if this concept was not accepted, then the rest of the message wouldn't be taken to heart. And boy, do I get that, right? Some of the people that I talk to don't really understand the value of having and working from a vision. Some people have been working long and hard, but they see their dreams as out there somewhere, right? A place that they have to get to instead of a place to come from. Yeah. And then there's others who haven't even let themselves become invested in the idea of a dream or their desires, which is why I host vision workshops to introduce the concept that there is a technology to designing a vision based on what you would love in your life, tuning your attention and your mindset to that life happening right now, and then taking steps in the direction of that desire with a knowing that it's already a done deal. Now, I know sometimes it's kind of hard to get there, but that's okay because it's a process. It's a journey. All right. Now, listen, I could actually name probably hundreds of thousands of people where this technology has actually worked for, whether they did it consciously or not. And you could probably think of people yourself who seem to just have their way in life, right? They succeed at everything. They raise up in the ranks. They have number one hits. Maybe they have successful businesses and relationships. They're always traveling somewhere, doing something, those things that you only dream about, right? Well, these people, they're not more special than you. And if you think about it, I'm sure there have also been times in your life, maybe one or two times, when you just set your mind to something that it was going to happen for you. And you took some kind of action and it happened. Now, I have to warn you that technology works whether it's a positive thing or a negative thing, which is probably, definitely your problem. All right, anyway, let's get back to Paul. So Paul then says that, even he saw him. And it's funny because immediately he started to judge that statement as proudful or maybe even boastful, right? Because he started to downplay himself, saying that he was the least of the disciples because he wasn't chosen like the others. And even more so because he actually used to persecute the church. Now, it's funny that we're all the same in that way, right? Someone compliments your outfit maybe, and then you talk about how old it is or how inexpensive it is. Maybe they'll say how much they like your hair, and you say, oh my God, it's so much work just to get it like this. Notice that the next time it happens. And if it happens for you, just say thank you. All right. So now, what's the point of all this actually? Well, the point is this, that there is power in the resurrection, and there is a resurrection ministry. I consider what I do a resurrection ministry. To be in ministry is to serve. And I serve others by helping them to expand their awareness of, and their belief in their own resurrection. So if you're feeling dead in spirit or dead in passion, dead in purpose, know that you too can be raised, renewed, and refreshed. And I'm here to speak the power and the promise of resurrection. So no matter how many times you get knocked down, you can get up. And notice how many times or how much you hear those voices of shame, guilt, hurt, disease, fear, doubt, generational pain, trauma. We all have them. But for some of us, they're kind of quiet and sneaky, right? They might say, are you sure you want to try that? Or what if it doesn't work? And you'll be embarrassed. Are you ready for that next step? Maybe you should just wait until you're more prepared or you're more organized. Or maybe you should wait till you have some more money saved up, right? Because really, you don't want to be irresponsible. But for others of us, that voice is a little bit louder. And sometimes it's brutal, right? You're so stupid. You can't do anything right. You ain't never been nothing, and you're never going to be nothing. Nobody wants to hear what you have to say. And who's going to read your book? Everybody leaves. You're not enough for anyone to stick around. There's always going to be somebody better than you. And unfortunately, sometimes it's even worse than that. Yeah. But I want to tell you that it's just a voice. See, the resurrection ministry is about learning how to lay down those voices and pick up the voice of truth. So, brave thinking tool number 1, who remembers, notice what you're noticing, right? So if you hear that voice, interrupt it. Do your breathing in and out. Smell the flowers. Blow out the candles. And then merge with the power breathing you from within. Bring your vision to mind, right? That place where everything is working out. Because energetically, it exists in the right now. It's already done. And since God is unconditional, there's no condition where that desire couldn't exist. So design it in a way that causes you to think, oh, what a foretaste of glory divine. And then the promise is this: if the resurrection power works for one of us, it works for all of us. Now, if you've been inspired by this message or you had an aha moment somewhere, I want you to take a second and journal on what step you could take in the next 5 minutes to ground that impulse. All right. Until next time, you already know it's not enough to agree with the Sunday sermon. It's what you do on Monday that matters. I love y'all so much. Hey, leave your questions and comments in the section below. All right. Bye for now, guys.